And this to you guys. So I think we can all agree that this, oh gosh, that didn't move the way I wanted it to. We can all agree that this needs to be, we want to get rid of that 6, the divide by 6. But there's a really common mistake that comes up with problems like this. To get rid of divide by 6 instead, we're going to multiply by 6. But when I go to do that, because you probably don't want to divide 2 by 6 and 8 by 6 because those aren't very nice numbers. But when I go to multiply by 6, every once in a while I'll have a student or a few students do this. So this is being multiplied here. On this side, they distribute that 6 in. What happens instead? Yeah, it cancels. 6 divided by 6 is just 1. It cancels. So we get rid of that fraction. If you multiply by 6 and then also divide by 6, you're kind of in a weird spot. So to cancel that out, it's gone from that side. So we're left with a negative 66 here. It was 2w minus 8. All right, so now to get that w alone, are you awake with us? We need to add that 8. So we get a negative 58, right? Hi. You sound like a grown-up, like I thought like somebody, like, not that you're not important, but like, like boss, like important. Well, and part of it is Miss McDonald always has loud shoes. Like, she's like, you can hear her coming out the hallway. So we divide by 2 here. And I just flip that right away. That's going to be a negative, was that 29? So our next one here, what are we going to do first? And number 6? Combine our like terms. So the that didn't change colors. The 13 minus 4 is going to be 9x, right? And then we're going to move that 2 over. So to undo it now. And then we end up with x is 4. Now, not all the answers will be nice whole numbers, and we'll see that in a second. So don't let that scare you if you end up with non-whole number answer, but a lot of times they work out nicely like that. All right, so we did throw some fractions in here, which again, I think you guys, even if you didn't like fractions before, the last few chapters, we've dealt a lot with fractions, and I think you guys have gotten pretty solid with them, and I want to show you guys how not too confident with this one. Once you see what you need to do, I think you'll...
I guess, sort of.
So you divided it by 2, okay. I see what you did, but yeah, I don't know. You're trying to get the x alone. So I want to get rid of that 5/3. There's a couple of different things you can do here. What'd you guys do? So I think Ryan, I'm looking at his calculator, it looks like he divided by 5/3.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you divided by 5/3. Now, I don't love this as an explanation. This works though. Because technically we don't divide fractions, but I've never, again, with all this calculator stuff, I've said just go ahead and, yeah.
We should also multiply by 3.
Yeah, so that's another thing you can do. So if we do this, that's fine. That's just 2 divided by 5/3, just it's probably unlikely I would be able to do that in my calculator or without my calculator. So I'll show you guys what Ryan got at, even though I think he used the same method we talked about here. Is what he said, can't you multiply by 3? So if I multiply each side by 3 here, the 3's cancel. And so I get 5x equals 6. And then you just divide that. So x ends up being 6 over 5, which should be the same thing you get over here. I believe, right? Did you guys get that if you divided that in your calculator? no, you didn't get that alone, no.
Oh.
You didn't. You had 5 over 6 equals 1.
Oh.
5 over 6
yeah.
x equals 1, so you still had to get that alone. So you had to kind of flip it over. So I don't care how you get there, as long as we're getting that answer. And 6 over 5, leave it. It's especially since there was a fraction in the problem, leave it as a fraction in the answer. That makes more sense. All right, now number 8, I would hope you'd see this one and not be freaked out by the fraction. Why shouldn't the fraction scare you on this one?
You're distributing.
Yeah, you're distributing half. You're just taking half of that. I hope you don't see something like this and be like, oh no, I gotta get my calculator. It's like half, yeah, like half should not be something you get freaked out by. So we're just gonna distribute that half, and we're just taking half of those numbers. So I wouldn't try to get rid of the fraction, I would just deal with it. Half of 2 or 4a is 2a. Half of negative 8 is a negative 4. So this becomes a really pretty easy two-step problem without like losing our mind over it being a fraction. Let's remove this 4 over. And then we're going to get our a alone by dividing by 2. Okay? So don't let fractions scare you. Think a little. Don't automatically reach for your calculator and be like, yikes, I don't know how to do that. I mean, you guys know how to do that. You know how to take half of something. I mean, if you have a sibling, you know how to take half of something like your whole life, like the sharing.
Well, I have 2 siblings.
Well, then you should be really good at thirds. All right. Did you ever pull the? We used at our house, and my boys have started doing this. Like if you're trying to break something up that you really want, like whoever breaks it up, the other one gets to choose which half they get. Like, no, are you not that? We were that like serious about our sharing of our
No,
food.
it's whoever's the smallest, whoever cries the loudest gets it.
Yeah, that didn't work at our house.
I'm gonna be becoming deaf because my little brother screams at the top of the freaking lungs whenever he wants something.
All right, what are we doing first in number 9?
Distributing.
Distribute. Distribute what? 2. So we're not going to add first. We're distributing that 2 in. This is kind of another long one. Or longer one. I'd like to combine these two because they're like terms. Okay. Now this is a case where I like to bring the variables together first. If you don't do this, I think this makes this problem a little more confusing. I would bring the variables together. Which one do you want to move? The 8. So I end up with 7 equals 7 plus 14x. Alright, what are we going to do next? Subtract 7. Okay, this is kind of a strange one. What happens over on this left side? It cancels to be 0. I'm going to write 0 though because it doesn't make sense to have nothing on one side of the equal sign. So this, and a lot of times people see this and they think this is a no solution problem. This has a solution.
It's all solutions.
No, this one isn't all. This has one solution. What's our answer going to be? 0. It's okay to get 0 as an answer. That doesn't mean there's not an answer. You can get 0 wrong on a test. That's an answer. No solution would be like your test got lost in the mail or something. You know, like, I mean, your test is missing, like, or you didn't take the test.
I messed up in the equation, but I got the right answer because I thought it was
Oh, yeah, no, it works out okay on this one.
I probably
Right?
got a half point on that.
Oh, you guys, we have a lot of time left. Are you guys going to use this time wisely?
Yes.
Yeah.